For decades, the world has been shaped by a Western narrative: liberal democracy, free markets, and the dominance of the US dollar. But that era is being challenged. A coalition of powerful nations is now determined to write their own rules. The post-Cold War unipolar moment was always temporary. Power shifts and rising nations want to say. Enter BRICS, not a military alliance but an economic and political bloc aiming for a multipolar world. BRICS questions the West's right to set global standards in trade, finance, and diplomacy. This is a public, global project, openly discussed at summits with leaders calling for fairness and a move beyond a system they see as a relic of colonialism. The world order is changing before our eyes, and BRICS is at the center of this transformation. BRICS began as an investment acronym: Brazil, Russia, India, China, and later South Africa. Together, they represent over 40% of the world's population and have surpassed the G7 in economic output by purchasing power. China brings industrial might, India a vast workforce, Russia energy, Brazil agriculture, and South Africa a gateway to Africa. Their diversity is both a strength and a challenge, but their collective weight demands a greater voice in global affairs. BRICS is more than a group of emerging markets. It's a political statement that the future won't be designed solely in the West. These countries share a belief that current global governance is outdated and unrepresentative. Their regular summits and coordinated positions signal the developing world's readiness to claim a seat at the head table. BRICS is laying the groundwork for a more assertive, unified front in global politics. BRICS didn't stop at 5 members. In 2023, it expanded, inviting Egypt, Ethiopia, Iran, Saudi Arabia, and the UAE. This move transformed BRICS into BRICS Plus, a coalition with even greater economic and strategic clout. The new members add energy power, financial capital, and key trade routes, like the Suez Canal. Iran's inclusion strengthens the bloc's anti-hegemony stance, while Ethiopia boosts Africa's presence. Dozens of other countries are eager to join, seeing BRICS as an alternative to Western-dominated institutions. The expansion has made BRICS Plus a magnet for nations seeking a more multipolar world. Bringing together rivals like Saudi Arabia and Iran under one roof shows the powerful draw of BRICS's mission. BRICS Plus is now a formidable force, reshaping the global balance of power. At the heart of BRICS's agenda is a challenge to Western financial dominance, especially the US dollar. For decades, the dollar has been the world's reserve currency, giving the US immense power. BRICS is promoting trade in local currencies and even exploring a new reserve currency to bypass the dollar. This would be the biggest challenge to dollar supremacy since World War II. BRICS has also built new institutions. The new development bank funds infrastructure without Western strings, and the contingent reserve arrangement offers financial safety without IMF conditions. These institutions operate on equal voting rights, not Western dominance. Together, they form the pillars of a parallel financial system controlled by and for emerging economies. The goal to give developing nations real alternatives and reduce Western leverage. BRICS is building the foundation for a new global financial order. If BRICS succeeds, the world will feel fundamentally different. Western sanctions would lose power, as countries could bypass US-controlled financial systems. Trade patterns would shift, with new corridors and currencies like the yuan gaining dominance. The global marketplace would become more fragmented but also more diverse. BRICS advocates sovereign equality and non-interference, challenging Western norms on democracy and human rights. Competing models of governance could become equally legitimate, changing global standards. Developing nations would have a real choice between Western and BRICS blocs, increasing competition for influence. The world would become more complex, with shifting alliances and new centers of power. The shift isn't theoretical, it's happening now. BRICS is expanding, building institutions, and coordinating on global issues. The unipolar era is over. Multipolarity has begun. BRICS faces internal challenges, but their shared desire for a balanced order keeps them united. The West must adapt. Negotiation and cooperation are now essential. The rise of BRICS is about the diffusion of power, a natural result of global development. Whether this leads to stability or chaos is the great question of our time. Will BRICS become just another power bloc or truly forge a new inclusive order? The answer may define the future of the world.